The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party.
Oh.
We don't have Kathy H here today,
No.
but we have Artie J in.
A suitable replacement.
Yeah.
I am. I don't talk as much.
Yeah. Oh, you're brave since he's not here. Taking her down already.
She's not going to watch it.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to give a shout out to her just in case you
Hi,
watch
Kathy. Miss you today.
it? And
I hope
Tony?
everything's
Yes,
okay.
Kathy, be well.
I hope everything's nice and clear.
This is actually one of the first shows for the year.
Yeah,
You
Happy
guys-
New Year.
Happy New Year. You guys
Yeah.
doing
Happy
all
New Year,
right?
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When do you stop saying Happy New Year? April?
No, the
When-
7th.
Is it the
It's
7th?
over, yeah.
It's over,
It's
all right.
over. It's
Oh.
official. Even
Is
if
it?
you haven't seen the person.
Yeah.
It's the same principle applies to sympathy for a loved one who's dead. Like, sorry I didn't
You don't-
make
you
the
had them
wake
on-
of your grandmother two months ago.
Right.
You just don't.
You don't mention it.
You might say something
Sorry.
like, no, you say, heard about your
Your
loss.
passing,
Sorry
yeah.
to hear about your loss.
Yeah.
But you don't have that
That's
on the
it.
same scale as Happy New Year,
No.
do you?
No.
All right,
No,
you
no.
give that a little bit more of a
Yeah,
buffer.
Merry Christmas goes away right away.
Right,
Immediately.
right.
Right away.
But Happy New Year, maybe a week or two.
A week or two, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Here's the question. What's the over-under on the last day you'll sweep a pine needle out of your house?
Oh, what decade? 'Cause
I'm
those
going-
things stick in between the wood.
Yeah.
and
It's definitely
everywhere.
February.
I got June 16th.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got.
Well, that's a good point. My
Yeah.
wife doesn't even take it down till June 16th, so
I got
I'm on yours.
1989. I can. They just stick everywhere.
They're everywhere.
We call our trees the Halloween tree because that's when it starts
That-
to go
that's
up.
when it goes
It's
up.
not a
Yeah.
Christmas tree.
I got the artificial one now, which is
Oh, you
nice.
do?
Oh, that's nice.
So easy to
Yeah.
take it down. Although I had some pine trees in the backyard that I cut down with the chainsaw, and I put it out for tree pickup.
That's a good idea.
My wife goes, put a couple of old ornaments on it, make it look
Why,
like
to make it look like...
Yeah.
it's the deadest thing. It's got brown needles on it and everything.
Oh, so during tree pickup...
Yeah,
you-
it's a good way to get rid of
rid
some
of
of
start
your
cutting
trees
down
in your
the
back.
neighbors
Yeah,
and
use
yours
this as a
trees.
Christmas tree. Could be a weeping willow.
Doesn't matter,
Make a
sure.
difference.
Put an
They're
ornament on
picking
it.
up trees.
So you're waiting all year to do a little lawn care,
They're
and all
picking
of a
up
sudden...
trees.
What do you mean? Everyone doesn't have a birch tree at Christmas? What are you, nuts?
The indigenous people.
Sure.
That's how they celebrate Christmas.
Sure.
You're always thinking, always thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll like this today in honor of Kathy Holtshouser. I have real estate myths to debunk, and
Yes.
I have 35 of them.
Beautiful.
What's the over and under on getting through the 35?
What number are you going to start
We're
at?
not
28.
Then we're
not gonna make it.
50-50.
we're 4 minutes in. We haven't hit any.
No, I think there's just somewhat of a recap. No, but I actually do have a bunch of new ones that
All right.
people don't really come up with.
Well, Artie and I know things.
You guys know
Yeah.
things. You guys are
Yeah.
like the. I don't have you guys on here just because you're adorable.
No,
you guys
and which we are.
Which you are.
Yeah.
Which you are. But you're real estate experts at this
Sure,
point.
of course we are.
You're right.
It's a
Right.
real estate house party.
It's a house party.
We're having
It's
a
a house
party.
Although I think I heard one of your New Year's resolutions is to change our theme song to
Yeah, Inagata Davida.
Sure.
So that would be pretty good to measure when we finally get like 3 items out. Is Ingata Davida over by the time we got three mentioned?
I don't know. Jeez.
That's a close call.
29 minutes.
Anything by the vanilla fudge.
Oh.
You're in for 14 or 15 minutes. Sure.
You think there was any drugs during those days?
I think there was a lot of
Oh,
Most
okay.
of them were letters like LSD,
That's right.
MDA,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I know you could write a book on
Acronyms for drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
How's your V doing?
I heard you had the most unique 12 days of Christmas I've never heard in my life.
I still haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, you'll never be able to repeat that one.
it's because I
again.
just start laughing.
Yeah. All right, here's some myths we got to debunk.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
The public is waiting.
I know. They're glued to their seats right now. The first move as a buyer in buying a house is to start looking at a house. True or false?
That would be false.
It's false. That's false.
Completely false.
You got to look at
false.
your bank account.
There you go. There you go.
The first thing you
Do you have the money to buy anything?
no,
You don't know what you're buying.
the first thing you got to do is look at your wife.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you do. Are we buying a new house?
You know, she's thinking she's going to live on a beautiful house
Yeah.
in North Shore or on the beach.
Sure.
And you're thinking, Lawrence.
Sure. Condo in an old abandoned warehouse.
Yeah,
Sure.
So you'd actually throw it to your wife and
Of course.
like it was your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
right. And your wife would agree to make you feel good that, you're involved somehow.
Somehow.
But then she'll
Right.
control.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell me what I'm thinking, sweetie.
I bought a house without my wife even looking at it.
Did you?
Yeah, I called. She was up in New Hampshire.
Was
with
that
her
your first
mother.
wife?
My only wife. And I said, Donna, I think I bought a house. She goes, what? I said, I think I bought a house. She goes, where? I said, Bill Ricker. She goes, where's that? I said,
Was she
it's
from
nice. It's in the country.
Was she from Revere too?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. She doesn't know what Bill Ricker is. That could have been.
Nobody knew.
That could have been.
We didn't even drive by it.
Right.
No.
It's one of those towns that's
Oh.
like, what? Where the hell is that?
How'd you tell your wife about Charlestown?
Oh, we were there. We were living
Already
in my
living
house.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, and my the guy who owned the house before me had just gone through a divorce,
Okay.
and he had a rebound girlfriend who was a lunatic.
Okay.
And she wanted to go move out to someplace, and
Bill
he goes,
Ricker.
Yeah, he goes, "You want to buy a house?" And I went, "Yeah, all right, sure."
So should that be one of our ideas of the year, where people get to live in a house for X
Sure,
amount of months,
you should
try it
for
out,
a while, yeah,
and
sure,
see
it's
if you like it?
It's like a couple sleeping together before they're married. You got to
Yeah.
know if that works.
No, yeah.
Also, that's a good lesson to learn there, too, is check to see who's getting divorced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden there's a house up.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're very
sure.
smart.
I don't want any of these memories just get rid of the house.
Last year was a little slow. I think actually this year is going to be busier for all our listeners. But last year they were trying to widen their net a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, they were calling on divorce attorneys to see.
I've heard that defaults are up a little bit.
Go ahead.
Defaulting on
Yes.
your mortgages
Yeah.
is up a little bit.
No, you're right.
And that's an indicator of inflation.
You guys scare me. You guys are
Thank
so
you.
good.
I'm going to go to sleep now. That's all. That's all I had.
Tony listens to NPR.
Yeah,
He
that's
listens to NPR.
exactly what happened.
Right before he comes
Yeah,
in.
right before, right. Yeah.
Lindsay Sabatelli was asking me if she thinks this is a good year since it's an election year to buy. I think it's a great time to buy.
Election years are generally a good
I think it's a great time to buy.
They
'cause-
just try to all the politicians try to make everything look really
Sure.
rosy.
Right.
You know,
And
the
depending on your
interest rates are good.
and depending on your slant, you could buy in another country.
Yeah. Canada.
So I actually think right now is a great time to buy. I like the fact that you can buy with the rates a little bit higher because prices probably aren't coming down too much around here.
No, probably not.
But interest rates I think are.
They should start coming
I think
down.
they're going to be in the
The
fives.
Fed hasn't said that they're going to cut, but all indications are
I heard
that
maybe
they will.
3 or 4 cuts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, and we'll be good.
So here's one. We're
election year.
already
Yeah.
jumping around. We're already up at number 10. But if you are refinancing, do you need to save 2 percentages on? In other words, if you
That's
have
the general rule of thumb. Is save 2 points on your interest rate.
right before you refinance.
Right.
But I think the real factor in is how much is it going to cost you
To refinance.
to refinance. Right.
Nothing comes cheap.
Right.
Nothing's free.
So I think if you do a no closing costs,
then you should do
you
it.
could do it for a half a point.
Right. It would that.
Right.
If it's
Well,
no
I don't
point to
know.
no closing, then
depends
of
how much-
course
Right.
anything is a
Depends
savings.
how much the principal is. I mean, a half a point on 100,000 is like nothing. But if it's 400,000, now you're talking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
think about how much the
I don't
principal
know anyone
is,
who
too.
has just $100,000 mortgage on there, though.
Well, I mean, sometimes.
But you're
like,
right,
I have,
though. It is
I
a
have
factor.
a certain amount remaining on my mortgage, and they're asking me because it's gotten so low that it's like, come on, refinance, take out $100,000. You know what I mean?
You didn't need it.
How
I
many
don't
years are
need
left
it,
in
though.
yours? We did your closing. I thought it was
I got
like
about
yesterday.
12 years left.
Wow.
Well, we made it to 15 years.
You did a 15-year. Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's about 10 years now.
All right.
Left.
So that's another one to debunk you, that you should only take out a mortgage for a 30-year mortgage.
Oh, no.
Right. Right.
But if you take out a 30-year mortgage, if you're financially capable, you can double the payment or
Yep.
send an extra, like, X amount, maybe $200 towards the principal
Yep.
every month.
All right, we should have a trigger warning. We're going to throw out a lot of stuff. A lot of this we haven't verified,
Right.
but you're absolutely right. Thank you. I think if you make like one extra payment on a 30-year, you could drop it down again. We haven't verified.
One extra payment a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
It turns into almost like a 22-year mortgage as opposed to a 30-year. That's similar to what you're saying.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people do. Yeah. Some people do 13 payments in the year.
Yeah.
Just to start knocking it off. So, all right.
All right.
Back to our.
But that's not a myth. What are the other myths?
No, the myth that is true. I'm just not sure the exact amount you're
You don't know if it's
shaving off.
22 years.
But
Right.
I'm thinking it depends upon how much you owe.
No, that won't be a factor in that. I think you're right, though. It's a factor in if you're gonna refinance. But the same formula is going to work no matter how much you owe. So, all right. The first move as a seller should make when they're selling a home is to list their home.
That's a false.
That's a false.
It's a false.
That's false.
You got to do months of preparation.
a lot of preparation
before you even start
Sure.
selling your
So
house.
you got to start getting rid of your shit.
Well, you got to see what the
Yeah.
other houses in the neighborhood are worth and
Worth.
stuff like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty, you got
Do
to check out the
comparisons.
market yourself. Yeah.
All right, here's another related myth to that then. You can only buy another house, a second house, when you have your first house sold.
That's not true.
No,
That's
you
not
can
true.
do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now there's banks out there that will allow you to not even use those costs of your existing house in your factors, whether you qualify for your second house. Yeah, if it's being listed or rented.
Right.
So there's criteria, but you can get away with it.
Yeah, but don't fall behind on your mortgage on your first house.
No.
No, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah.
Be up to date with the taxes and everything.
You know, we have some forms are okay, but some are we have a form that says you cannot make your mortgage payments late or it's negatively going to affect your credit. There's an actual form that says that.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's another form that says, as a lender, we have complied with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act in giving you this loan.
What is that?
They didn't
against
discriminate.
you.
Oh,
against
they
you.
didn't discriminate.
But if you're discriminating against,
Right.
you weren't going to be at the closing. So it's
No,
just, what are
you
you
wouldn't get there.
agreeing to?
Right.
But
Right. Everyone just covers their ass.
yeah. I'm just thinking, what are you,
You know,
what
we
are you
gotta
covering here? You should be
Sign this paper that says I signed all the other papers, and if there's anything
Right,
that
the
I didn't
compliance,
sign,
right,
I
right,
forgot, then
right.
this covers it.
Right.
So it should just be one paper. It should be one piece of paper.
It says this signature is valid for
Valid.
all those
Right.
other
Those
papers.
papers.
Like one of those
Right.
Microsoft 30-page agreements.
Oh, the
That no one reads.
No one reads.
And you
I
just keep
agree.
scrolling through in your phone. Terms of agreement.
Yeah.
So you think right at the very end of the closing, you just check off a box,
That
and you're
says,
done.
Yeah.
Your closings would be nice.
Yeah, it would
We
be.
might have to get you in as a closing attorney.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd bring an attorney with me if I was with Tony. I think that's the key.
You know, my thought. We should all have attorneys with us all the time.
Always.
For everything. Bride cleaner.
Driving down.
Yeah. Bride cleaner, going through a toll booth, anything.
What can I say to this person, Rick, as a remark to what they
Right.
said to me? What's legal and not legal?
If somebody calls you a name, wait a second.
I got to talk to my
Can he call
attorney.
me that?
That, right.
Can he call me that?
She wants to know if I want cream and sugar.
Well, let's think about this for a second. Don't commit. Here's a good one. Someone should have had an attorney. Again, we're off track a little bit.
No.
Someone had made a statement to a potential buyer. Actually, they were a tenant. They asked the tenant, "Where are you from?"
Can't do it.
Can't do
Can't
it.
do
that
it.
person should have had an attorney with them at that point.
That's
Really?
discrimination, plain and simple.
Yeah, even though she was trying to be nice about things, just saying, "Where are you from?"
Right.
It wasn't. Well, the potential tenant, brought her to court and said she had a lot of emotional distress over that,
Of course she did.
and said that she was just trying to profile her and not give her the lease.
Right.
So there's an example why you need to bring your attorney,
The attorney.
everywhere
Sure,
you go.
sure.
Let's see. What else do we got?
You know, they say you should, like if and when you get arrested, you should lawyer up right away.
Yes.
We should just lawyer up completely.
Yeah,
Right off the bat.
pre-arrest.
Anything.
Right.
I'm telling you, anything.
So how would you, what's the process like? So let's think about this.
I'd like to have an actual judge, like in my house at all times between me and my wife.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Or
retired
anyone.
judges.
Anyone.
An arbiter. An
A
arbiter.
neighbor comes over and you say, all right, what do you think, Mr. Judge or Mrs.
Would you
Judge?
like a cup of coffee? Let me take that under advisement.
Is the coffee hot? Was that a coffee
How-
too hot for
how
you?
hot is that
Did you get
coffee?
scalded by that coffee?
Yeah.
Let's review
We
the facts
live in a
here.
very litigious society.
You're
and
right,
We should,
you're
all,
right.
we should all lawyer up.
What was that McDonald's case where they got sued because the coffee was hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the attorney should have been brought in that area.
Of course. If the attorney was with them, it never would have got that
Never
far.
would have got it
Of
that
course.
far. All right, so I'm going to throw out we don't usually do this, but if any brokers have any questions about any of these coming up, because
Right.
we're not positive the answers on these. If any,
I say with 100% certainty.
Right.
We should have a lawyer with us at all times.
Right.
if you guys as a viewer
Yeah.
or listener would like to comment on any of these coming up, I am at R. Carter
You are.
at CarterClosings.com.
Yep.
781-944-9222.
What was
All
that
right.
number again?
781-944-9222.
9222.
Yeah, you're very good. That's very smart. Do you need does a listing broker should do open houses? Again, I'm not sure if I have the exact answer, but
Should it? What is it?
Should you or do you have to?
you don't have to, but should a listing broker do open houses for their potential buyers?
I would say yes.
I would say no.
Okay. Why would you say no? They're not needed?
No, I mean, if you got potential buyers out there anyway, okay, you can open it up to them. But just an open house is like, it's kind of
Opening it to the whole
It's kind
neighborhood.
of overrated, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it's-
all right, here's the stat I just read a couple seconds ago in my preparation. Only 7% of home buyers found their home from an open house.
see,
So
that's 93% of the
that
people
don't.
didn't.
But in your,
Yes. My yes.
it's still 7%.
It's
that
still- right,
You
that's
might have
7
lost out on.
But now,
Right.
what about like they have these virtual things now? You can walk around the house.
Well,
with the
we
video
talked
camera,
about that
talked about-
5 years
yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think you're right.
So why should I have
But
to
that-
drive all the way out to like
But
Sturbridge and look at
but
the
it's not
house?
the same because we had an instance where someone bought a house and then they sight unseen,
Yep.
and they got there and they go, these rooms look much bigger, and with the
Yeah, yeah.
fisheye lens or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
lens
yeah.
they used. And,
Yeah.
this is not what I wanted. This is not what I bought.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And the floors are rolling here. Well,
Right.
Of course you're not going to see
You
that.
see
if
that?
you've never
Of course,
seen-
they're going to show it in the best possible light.
So-
but also, wouldn't an open house spark, more competition?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's-
what I say.
There's one of the advantages to have it. You go in there and you see 200 other buyers in there.
Right, you go,
It's gonna
hey,
say, I better put an offer in this place.
right.
And then you're probably saying, well, 195 of them are probably just their neighbors and friends just roaming around.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I had the situation where in my neighborhood, a house next to me was on the market.
Did you go in?
They've taken it out. I've seen the house many times.
Okay.
But they took it off because, I don't know if they were getting close to what they were asking.
yeah.
And then there's a condo on the other side of me that their open houses have been going on for months.
Okay.
So, I don't know, again, because the interest or the price point is too much or whatever, but they seem to be going longer than we would imagine.
Here is, again,
we live in a high.
Yes.
I'm the lowest end of my high-end neighborhood.
Well, I don't know.
And I think mostly they're not selling because I sit on my stoop and smoke cigars.
Right.
I think that might be
And they
one
hear
of the
your
deterrents.
conversations on the phone.
On the phone
me.
with you, yes. And they go, I'm not living next to that.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The neighbor that hates the other neighbor, so they sit out and they're doing something detrimental to the
Yeah,
sale.
yeah.
Don't you want to be as
Sure,
nice
shave
as
it.
possible
Yeah,
to
sure.
get that house sold? So, all right. So there's another one we should debunk. And again, I think we need our real estate agents to chime in on this. Your people or your neighbors,
Yes.
are they pricing it right?
That's what I'm saying. That
So did they-
because we hear of outrageous numbers in our
Right.
neighborhood, so I don't know
Right.
if they went to the extreme of that. and
Right,
it's
right.
not quite there.
So I'd like to hear from our agents say, do you price it higher than you
Higher
think it is,
or lower and hope
or,
for-
or right
right.
on the money.
Right.
You know, so
And let me say this: in both cases, the people are pretty well off, so I don't think it matters
Yeah.
much to them. You know what I mean?
But all right, I'm going to give my answer. But if you price it too high and that thing gets stale, that's the worst.
That's the worst thing because now you got to drop it, and
You got
someone
to drop
goes,
it, and anyone says,
right.
"Oh, you know." And I know they're trying to change the terminology on.
Usually
you know.
that's with like higher priced, real estate.
Yeah, yeah, but-
it's like, oh, they wanted $3.5 million for this house.
Now
on
they
the-
want
on
3.4
the beach,
and-
and now they've dropped it. New lower price, $3.1 million.
Right, right.
It's like, oh, geez, I'm saving $250,000.
Well, that's the point. Do you take a $3.1 million house and throw it out there at 3.4 and hope you get it, or
do you put it out at 3.6?
Yeah.
and settle for 3.1.
Yeah, like when Tom
Right.
Brady went to sell his house in Brookline or whatever it was. It was
We
like
had the listing sheet on
17
that.
million or something, wasn't
Oh, it's
it?
even more, 38 million. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's a lot of
The
house.
house Jay Leno bought in Newport was like 55 million.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't
You
think
guys
he's
are
ever-
funnier
But
than Jay Leno.
They were
Why
asking
do
for
you guys?
they were asking
I get
for
you.
60.
You know Jay Leno.
I do. I'm
think
not
you're-
going to speak badly of him.
I'm not
No.
speaking badly.
He's great.
He's a very talented guy, but I
Sure.
think you guys are funnier than him.
I'm not going to weigh in on that.
All right, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm making a statement.
I've
I'm
seen
not
Jay
asking for.
stand up, and he's very, very clever.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right, no, I'm not
I
saying.
mean, plus he was one of the first guys to do what he was doing.
Yeah,
and
there
a lot
wasn't
of
even
people
any
mimic him.
clubs when he started.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
You know what? I've been seeing the old YouTubes of Johnny Carson. That guy was the best.
Oh, he was I mean, for his time, there was not the best.
I saw him-
You know, I did a festival in his hometown of Norfolk, Nebraska. They have the
really?
Great American Comedy Festival, and I did it 2 years in a row. And one of the things is you get to see Johnny Carson's old house,
Oh, yeah?
the one he grew up in,
Yeah.
sign the wall, which was
Oh,
very
that's cool.
entertaining. But they also have like a museum. It's the Johnny Carson and Farm Museum. Those are the two industries in Norfolk, Nebraska.
It's a big draw, huh?
Big, huge draw. But they have the old set from the Tonight Show. And you
Really?
can sit on a couch.
Really?
With headphones
Is
and
that
listen.
McMahon still beside him?
Yeah, in the videos he is, right. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But everybody was walking around this thing, and I just sat on the couch with the headphones on and laughed.
Oh, yeah.
And Johnny Carson was the best when he was eating it. When he was going down the
yeah.
tubes, he was
The best.
he was brilliant at
Oh,
it.
he's,
you know?
he's
So,
brilliant. It didn't faze him at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Nope.
I saw him the other night doing one of the first interviews with Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
That was entertaining.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with Don Rickles.
Don Rickles and
You know who was always good on that show, too, was Burt Reynolds.
Burt
He
Reynolds
shaved
was
half
good.
his mustache. Remember that time?
And Rodney Dangerfield. He's always
Oh,
on
yeah.
that too. Let's.
How about Ed Sullivan? But he wasn't funny.
He wasn't
but he
funny at
was
all.
without even knowing it. I saw an old
He's
clip of him.
because he's a caricature of
And
himself.
Khrushchev was in the audience,
And how can you tell between the two?
right? So this is during the Cold War. And so he introduced
Khrushchev was in the audience?
Before he introduced Khrushchev, he introduced, the Girl Scout troop from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Troop number 6329 from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Stand up, girls, and show us your cookies. Without even knowing, I thought that was so hilarious.
Very funny.
Ed Sullivan. He was. Yeah, it was a different time. He told Jim Morrison not to say certain words.
Yeah.
You ever see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Jim Morrison. Then he just gets
Oh
right
yeah,
in the camera.
the bands had to change their
Oh, yeah.
lyrics
Yeah.
and stuff.
Elvis Presley was filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mick Jagger would change some of his wording and all that.
Yeah, I think they wanted to change Jim Morrison to higher.
Yeah,
They didn't want to say higher.
couldn't use the word
Right.
higher.
Right. So he
And
says,
then-
"Yeah, no problem."
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
Jim Morrison.
right. And then they did it to the Stones with "Let's Spend the Night
And
Together."
Stones, he's more business minded.
Yeah,
He changed it. All right, let's
Yeah.
spend the
Time
time together.
Time
Okay,
together.
okay, Mick. Yeah, I know. Jim Morrison's always. If you ever, you always think, who would you want to sit down at one point just to have a
You mean
conversation?
from a rock band?
Yeah.
Okay, not like Gandhi or Kennedy.
No, I know. I'm kind of minimizing it, but from a rock band,
From
I
a
think
rock
Jim
band?
Morrison.
John Lennon for me.
John Lennon would be a good one.
Yeah, John Lennon.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. His-
Buddy Holly, maybe.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go on and on.
Yeah, there's so many people I'd like to talk to. Even Lou Reed. before he
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Talk
He just
to
died
Lou
like last year, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a big
Reed.
Lou Reed fan, huh?
Yeah, and his girlfriend Nico.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You really noticed. All right. All right.
Sweet Jane's one of the best songs ever.
Oh yeah, in the intro to it.
Yeah.
With Steve, who is it, Steve Johnson or something? That intro, the guitar intro?
Ian Hunter.
No. We'll have to look that up. I wish my brother-in-law, John Sabatelli, was here. He's good at fact-checking me all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
somebody fact check us.
Yeah, someone fact-check this. Well, definitely, yeah. All right, let's see. The lower rate is always the best rate if you're getting a loan. So you see a lot of stuff online. You know,
That's a tricky one because at first blush you would think, of course.
I know, but
What about how long is the loan?
exactly. And the other one is how many points do you have to pay to get that at lower
That
rate?
round, right? Does
So
it,
if you're paying 5 points for that lower
yeah.
rate,
Do
does
they
that-
do they offset each other?
Exactly.
Yeah. Penny wise, pound
And
foolish.
if you are buying soon, all right, maybe I shouldn't. This is just.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say it. I'm not sure if you want to be paying points at this point. I think rates are going to come down.
I believe that too.
Right. So you don't want to be paying 3 points.
I don't know anything, but
No,
I
you do.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you kidding me? You're not, again, in the way we preface this whole show, you guys aren't just here because you're pretty faces.
No.
You guys are rock solid in the real estate world. So
I thought we were getting a colonoscopy.
No. Sometimes this show is
it
like
took you 26 minutes
Well,
before you brought up a colonoscopy.
Hopefully, we only got about 5 more because I drank 4 gallons of that stuff.
sometimes this show is like getting a colonoscopy.
How come Chrissy over there is nodding her head?
She's laughing
very
too.
vehemently.
She's stifling a laugh. Our producer.
Is it because we're full of poop?
You've been dying to tell some poop jokes, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah, I know. So let's see. Once you've signed the agreement, the deal is pretty much all set for closing.
Once you sign the agreement,
Yeah, the purchase and sale
not the
agreement.
person in sale. Now we've gone over that before. That's
Yeah.
a binding
That's
contract.
a binding contract.
but not necessarily the end all and be
No,
all of
'cause
the
that
situation.
buyer could-
lot of
lot of
loopholes.
stuff.
A lot of
lot of
If you
loopholes.
cancel after the P&S, do you lose money?
Yes.
Oh, see.
Yes, you're good. That's a good one, too. That's a good myth where you don't. Some people say, oh, all right, I'll just only lose the money I gave at offer stage. No.
No.
If you put $30,000 down.
It's gone, baby, gone.
Yep, exactly. So there's another good one. Let's see. What do we do for the over and under? We've gotten through about 10 of them. All right, here's a good one. If you can only sell a property with a past Title V certification for your property that has a private septic system. Do you have a private septic system or are you town
I
law?
used to when I bought the house,
Okay.
but not anymore.
so-
they force you to go.
Yeah, a lot of towns are doing it. So some towns still don't do it. They have everyone has a private, like North Reading.
Yes,
has a private. A lot of Wilmington has private septic
Yep.
systems.
It was cheaper then when they had their septic system.
Yeah,
Now it costs
yeah.
$1.50
Yeah,
per
yeah.
flush.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, at
yeah.
least $1.50.
Really, $1.50.
Probably, yeah.
You know, on a related thing, over the holidays, I had guests.
Oh yeah,
You
no
know,
flushing.
No
No flushing, please.
I don't think in a calendar year I used my plunger twice.
Really?
Whenever I have guests over, someone inevitably goes, "Hey, where's the plunger?" And I always go, "What are you doing in there? I've been here all year. I don't even know where my plunger
I've gone
is."
through all these bathroom visits
Yeah.
with no incidents at all,
plunger.
and I've made
My
it.
kids are home. My in-laws are over. Everyone needs a plunger all of a sudden. I go, "What do you people eat?"
Because they save it up. They wait till they get to
my house?
Let's go to Tony's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I go to
I've
Encore.
never-
I don't
yeah.
gamble much.
Yeah.
But I use their toilets.
Nice toilets.
I
They got a lovely bedroom over
They
there.
really do.
They do.
The casinos have the cleanest restaurants.
Yeah.
You know.
So I heard you called 128 plumbing heating.
I did. I'm going to have them come out.
Oh, good.
I need.
So you can
the
get
new-
firsthand experience on how they do.
Yes.
Yep, and you talked to
Lindsay Zapatelli.
yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got to change my appointment
Okay.
only because my
What are you gonna
wife
be
wants
doing?
to be there. I have 3 units.
Yep.
And
I have one.
Yeah.
You're a medical oddity.
I told you he was
I only have
extraordinary.
one functioning. At a
The
time.
other two are just kind of hanging there. Just
I like
for
to think
show.
of-
They're
Just
just,
for show.
I like to think
they're
of-
just window dressing.
Yeah, just Just ornamental.
Smaller than the functional one.
Yeah.
Just to make it look good.
Good, right. It's symmetry. Yeah, we like to call it symmetry.
It's the tripod effect. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but yeah. So I need the. I'm looking for new heating and hot water.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm torn between the new heat pump technology, which everyone seems to be touting, and you can get rebates for, and a high efficiency gas.
That is one good thing about 120 plumbing. They'll look into the rebates you get.
Yes.
When I did mine, the rebates are key.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have 3 units, so I'm trying to. We've already been over it in the house.
All right, so maybe we should end on that.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know endorsement
We
yet.
don't know.
We're going to see how they do.
I am taking. I've had other people out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm doing my due diligence as a
for you.
homeowner.
I had
You've
a new
learned-
toilet put in.
Well, I can
New
find you a
toilet seat.
plunger if you
It's
need.
up higher. It's
Yeah.
up higher, and
Oh.
I haven't had to plunge.
You didn't want to go to Tony's
I used
anymore?
to have to plunge a lot because
Yeah.
it was a smaller toilet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you couldn't.
Now you're being economical and
yeah,
you're
you
plunging?
couldn't drop
Good
like
for
a
you.
branch in there. You had a, now it goes nice. Whew. Yeah, and it sucks it out good. It's
Sure.
more efficient.
Sure.
How many do you think we got through?
11.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That's not bad.
For us, the third.
So, do you think you can come back at some point in time?
I'll have to check my schedule.
He's been here the last 5 weeks.
I know, it's
I
fine.
might go to Nebraska.
That's why you, a lot of corn. That's why you don't like the theme song, because your name isn't mentioned in there quite yet.
that's true, too.
Yeah, I know. I
No,
know.
I didn't realize.
You can take my place anytime you want.
I don't want.
Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. I think this was very
It
informative.
was a good one.
It was a
Yeah,
good
it was
one.
a good one.
Good luck to Kathy Holtshouser. You deserve this well-timed to take off, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And Artie
absolutely.
Januario is no longer just a guest on the show. Thank you for showing up. Tony V, always a pleasure. We'll see you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.